and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for stuff. It's not daily anymore. I've been doing that same spiel for how many years now, and so it's gonna be difficult to change that. Welcome to your weekly dose of the internet for Sunday, September 23rd, 2018. It is 9 a.m. or 9:02 a.m. after the intro and everything is played, and I finally got everything launched. I don't know where Nathan is. I've messaged him, I've called him, but I don't know where he is. So, if he wakes up, because I'm presuming that he's asleep, because that seems the most likely option. If he wakes up and shows up, then we'll get him in here. But otherwise, you are stuck with me and just me and only me, and it shall be forever me. Which one of these is the one that actually... Is this set up properly? Sort of. All right, we'll just focus on my tired-looking face. Yes. Anyway. One real quick thing to anyone that is checking out this episode, episode 517. If you have listened to us before, I have a question for you. How do we sound? And the reason that I ask that is I spent probably around 2.5-ish hours last night readjusting and finagling with our audio settings. Well, mine here at the, I can't say the studio or anything like that. I record out of the house. Anyway, with all my audio set up here, it's piped into my mixer board, it's piped back into my computer. And I was noticing that we had an immense amount of background air that shouldn't be there. And I was doing testing with it and things like that to the point that I muted everything. Like there's nothing making sound. Nothing's open. Nothing's running. The stuff isn't even on. And I was finding that there was still air, which did not make sense. Like, how can there be air if there's literally nothing that is producing sound? Well, I fixed it. In terms of what it was, is basically just that my computer's reception of the sound board was too high. So I needed to turn that way down and refinagle like microphones and stuff like that. And that got us into the right spot. So I do ask you, if you have listened to us before, if I sound better. Because that is always a goal when it comes to production on any level, is making what you are listening to, the product that you receive, better. That's our hope anyway. Anyway, so we, of course, do have news for you today. And I say we as in me, since Nathan's not here. But with that said, as a reminder to anyone that has listened to me do the show solo before, especially if you are listening to it on our audio-only platforms, I do have to take a moment to take a drink of water or coffee so that I can keep talking and not just have, just this dry mothball mouth that just tries to ramble on endlessly. So, if you hear me pause for a moment, that is the reason why. In any case, we will go ahead and get started with the news. 10. A retired man has found a massive gold nugget worth at least $110,000 while prospecting in a remote part of Washington's northern Goldfields. This was submitted by Eagle Maxey to Our World News. So, I didn't know that this. Me and Nathan both up here live in Alaska, and so there are people up here that go like gold panning and stuff like that, and you can find stuff. So I didn't realize that there was where the original gold rush is in terms of the surge to the west, at least is what they, taught us back in probably like junior high school. I don't remember anymore. That there are still people digging for gold out there. And they have, there are entire agencies where they own a section of land that has been proven to have gold. In this case, Rob Anderson owns Prospector's Picks in Bunbury, Washington. Now, he is not the person that found this nugget, but he is the one who owns the land that it was on. Not sure what the agreement there is, if you have to like give him a percentage or anything like that. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, the person who found it has asked not to be named. Excuse me, probably for the sake of their privacy and so that their family doesn't come and be like, hey, I need a new car. Because ultimately, let's be honest. Well, okay, I would love $110,000. I would love $1,000. I would, yeah, that would be great. Actually, really, realistically, right now, to just get everything I want and to solve every problem in terms of financing, like probably around 30,000. Yeah, most of that would be because I need down payment for a house. Because Jesus, is that the biggest hurdle? Anyway, he had been digging out there, and he uses metal detection and a bunch of other stuff, and 800 millimeters down, which is not actually that far. 800 millimeters. Like, yeah, that's like, I mean, I guess it's like 2.5 feet, but either way, finds a massive, massive nugget of gold that has been called the duck's foot, and it is called the duck's foot because of its shape. And it is a 3.23 kilogram specimen containing 68 troy ounces or 2.11 kilograms of gold. Again, valued at approximately 110,000 United States dollars. Congratulations to you, sir. Your hard work paid off. It was a retired man, and there's always this thing in, like, I remember being younger and my family or people in my family talking about, man, it'd be great if we could win the stations clearinghouse or something like that. Publishers clearinghouse. I don't know why I always think I think stations clearinghouse was also something that existed, but I'm not sure if it still does. Hang on, drink time. And they would announce who won the Publishers Clearinghouse on TV and stuff. And they'd always pick a new winner like every week. And they're like, oh, you get $5,000 a week for the rest of your life. And the interesting thing about that, though, is that most of the time the winners were all people that were like 80 or at least sometimes looked it. And there was always this question that was like, I remember my mom saying it and then me thinking the same thing of like, why is it always that older people, especially people that are already retired and have already gotten most of their life figured out or have their things set up already, are the ones that are winning things like $5,000 a week for the rest of your life? And the answer that I have now come to is that they have time to do the things that result in those things. Like, one of the ways, like, you can submit an entry to Publishers Clearinghouse every single day. And while I'm like, oh man, I got to wake up, I got to make breakfast, I got to get the kid ready, I got to get stuff ready for work, I need to take a shower, I need to get to work, I need to get home, I need to do dishes, I need to do laundry, I need to prep things for this, I need to, if Jennifer's not home, I need to make dinner, if she is home, I need to eat dinner, eat dinner either way, you know, and it just keeps, like, it's like nowhere in there does my brain go, you need to submit your entry for the Publishers Clearinghouse. And I'm like, oh yeah, nope, didn't think about that one. And so, but when you're older, now that's not to say that you don't have anything to do. Some older people, especially retired people, like my grandma never stops. She doesn't stop because she is aware that if she stops, she will begin to become old. Like, she is 84 as of August this year, and still is one of the most active people I know, and is all the younger because of it. Whereas, like, I have had people that I know that like were like 50 or, you know, like late 50s, early 60s, retired and then did nothing but watch TV all day and became old. Like, their bodies completely started to degrade on them because they were no longer using it. I see one David Chadwick has joined the chat room. Chadwick, I know that you are a longtime listener of the show, and so I ask you, how do I sound? I fixed a whole bunch of audio things, so hopefully there was always this like sound in the background for the show, just this almost like very low hissing sound, and I think I finally gotten rid of that, even for the live feed. And so let me know if I sound good or not. And as terms of why Nathan is not here, I am guessing that he is asleep. Anyway, so don't forget to enter for Publishers Clearinghouse, I guess is what we're getting at there.
9.
Some Amazon employees are reportedly accepting cash bribes from online sellers to delete negative product reviews. This was submitted by Interested in 86 to Our World News. So, this does not surprise me on any level. But the interesting thing is, before you go, Amazon's bastards, they don't pay their people or anything. Well, while that's true, they're some bastards. This is not on Amazon. What this is that this is companies that sell their product on Amazon. Those people are paying. So, like, okay, wait, let me try and get a better presentation of how this works. Let's say you sell a product on Amazon, and then someone buys that product, and that person who bought it gives you a negative review, 1 star, says your product's garbage, they'll never buy it again. And those negative reviews are very important on Amazon, because, like, one of the things I do when I'm looking for any product on Amazon, I go to the product. I don't care if it, like, I care if it has a lot of reviews, and even if it has like 4.5 stars or more, I go to the reviews, I go to the 1 star reviews, because I want to see why people believe that this is the worst product ever. It is not difficult to be like, I bought some speakers and they sound great, 5 stars. But if I go to the 1 stars and they're like, well, it doesn't have this connection, and unfortunately because of this, this doesn't work. Like, you get more information about what you're looking for in the 1 star reviews from the people that went there for the purpose of telling people why they shouldn't buy it. Because unfortunately, criticism is louder than praise the vast majority of the time. And so what these companies have been doing, they have been bribing Amazon employees in China to get one of two things: either just directly deleting the 1 star review from their product, or getting the purchasers information, so like your email address, so that they can contact the purchaser and convince them in one way or another to change their review. So that's it's very nefarious. Does not surprise me, though. People will do anything to get ahead, especially in a competitive market like China with that many people and that many products. I imagine that because they're reportedly bribing people with as much as $300 for each product or review that they fix. And in a place like China, that 300 United States dollars is equivalent to a substantial amount of money. And even if in America you could manage that easily, like if you walked up to an American that worked at Amazon, be like, yo, I got 2 Benjamins with your name on it. If you just delete this review next time you're at work. I know, so especially in the state of Amazon, with how many people there are like, I can't afford to eat. They'd be like, you want, fucking sure, give me the money. I need food. So Amazon is conducting an internal investigation of this, because this does like literally break every single review they have. But not every single review, every single rule they have. Like, this goes against their contract with the people that work for them. This goes against their contract with the people that sell through them. But we'll see how far Amazon actually gets with this. I'm not sure how much they care. 8. Cuba's new president has endorsed same-sex marriage. This this was submitted by Morning Chubb to Our World News. Well, it's all the more appropriate now that we do the show live on Sunday mornings. So, the new Cuban president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, said in his first interview since taking office in April that he supports a proposed change to the Constitution to allow same-sex marriage. The interesting thing is that it's not actually just this single change that Cuba is making to its Constitution. They are working towards completely overhauling, literally drafting an entirely new Constitution for the entire country of Cuba. Now, that is actually being debated on what's going to go into it, what's going to happen throughout the entire Caribbean nation. And it's going to literally replace the Cold War Constitution that Cuba has had for like 50 or so years. The Cold War was longer than that. No, yeah, okay. Anyway, the biggest voice of this, though, is that they are also joined in this approach by Cuban lawmaker Mariela Castro, which may sound familiar because she is the daughter of Raul Castro, which is the predecessor and current leader, and the niece of Fidel Castro, and is the current leader of the Communist Party. Now, while that sounds scary, she does seem to be at least a somewhat decent individual, in which her loudest platform has been for the decriminalization of same-sex marriages and relationships in general, because they are trying to push towards a place where there is no kind of discrimination in Cuba. That's a nice idea. It's a good ideal to have. How much you manage to achieve it, I wish you the best of luck for all of our sakes.
Seven.
The Cleveland Browns have won their first game since December 24th, 2016. Well, while it is unlikely that we are going to be taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, they are finally not the immense losers, by the literal sense of that word, that they have been for the past almost 2 years. Although I'm sure that they are still one of the first teams that people go to when it comes to jokes about how bad they are. I know that there's like 3 of them that I can always think of. Like, it's the Browns. We'll see what happens with the Raiders because they're moving to Vegas. But what's the other one? The Bears or something like that? I don't remember. There's another one that is always like, that team's garbage. They're in the bottom 5 every year. Well, at least the Browns have picked up a win. Now, who did they win against? That would be the one, the only New York Jets. Which is hilarious, especially when I know several Jets fans. And it's one thing when your team loses. It's one thing when your team loses to one of the people that are the worst in the sport that you are playing. But congratulations to the Cleveland Browns. You are now 1-1-1 this season, and we shall see if you manage to do anything else this year. I wish you the best of luck.
6.
Indiana man, 34, who impregnated 10-year-old girl, gets over 100 years in prison. This was submitted by Javla Skit to our news. Yeah, I mean, we can't just kill him? No? Okay. Well, this is an Indiana man who's, I don't even feel like saying his name. Screw saying his name. This is 34-year-old dude from Marion. He was sentenced to 160 years in jail with a minimum service of 132 years, so goodbye for the rest of your life. I'm sad that society has to pay for you. But beyond that, there's even more to the story. The girl was 10. She turned 11 and gave birth to a boy in 2017. She is now currently with her grandmother because her mother is also facing charges, including childhood neglect, aiding in child molestation, assisting a criminal. Because when the mother discovered the pregnancy, when the little girl was trying on dresses for a school dance, her mother instructed her to say that it was a classmate that impregnated her. Now, while we don't have much information past that, there is a potential that this man was either like her boyfriend or something like that, or who knows. Either way, she's a garbage person as well. And you know what? I just hope they just both go away, and I hope that this poor child finds some way to get through all of that, because good Lord, I don't know how you get through all of that. At least not well anyway. Not easily. I don't know. It doesn't. Yeah, I got nothing besides go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Actually, honestly, if Nathan was here, he would have already said this. This person's gonna die. Like, he's gonna go to jail, and unless he is in some form of solitary confinement, he is gonna die. Because that's what happens to these types of people in jail. They get killed. Because there are people that are literal murderers or serial killers that are in jail that are like, yeah, I killed 7 people the week before they finally caught me. And they also think that these people are garbage people. They're like, you are one of the worst people on the planet. I just kill people. But you know what? Adults suck. Like, I have heard both in actual testimony and also from immense amounts of media, the people that are killing people are like, why do you care? People suck. I guarantee you every single person I've killed is a garbage, awful person. Like, they have done something that is terrible in their life, and we all just go on like it doesn't matter because either only a couple people know about it or because it's just something that society has accepted. It's the same reason, if you want to take a more wholesome route, that one of the best chefs in the world, Gordon Ramsay, is literally renowned for how much of a dick he is to the chefs that are on his adult shows. Like, whoever is on his adult cooking shows, he is mean. Like, mean. Same with, like, Simon Cowell for any of the Got Talent shows or X Factor. Mean. But when it involves a child, somebody who doesn't necessarily know wrong yet, has not done wrong yet, is still innocent and is still growing and learning and has not been corrupted by the world or society yet, they turn into some of the most sweet, caring people because it's a child. And that is why they're nice to children, and that is also why the the murderers in jail will murder this person, because they also feel that same way more often than not. So go to jail. I would say don't collect $200, but you're not going to get a chance to, because you will probably be dead in the next 5 years, if it even takes that long.
5.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Yeah. I was supposed to do 5. I skipped 5. Let's go back to 5. I just don't have 5 on the feed right now. There we go. There's 5. Canada bans artificial trans fats in all foods. This was submitted by Head Tail Grip to Our World News. Good job, Canada. So this is already done and passed. Like this is already taken care of. So now it's not going to happen immediately, but trans fats have been proven to be extremely detrimental to your health. Like, they're real bad for you. What they do, they increase your bad cholesterol and they lower your good cholesterol, which is not what you want. You do not want that to happen. You want high levels of high-density protein and very low levels of low-density protein. It's important for your body. Now, trans fats are one of the worst things that comes for that. Canada has banned them. Now, it's not like they're just gonna immediately disappear. Canada did give a grace period. The companies that manufacture them were informed that this ban was coming a year ago to look for good alternatives, and the product that is already on the shelves is not being pulled. Although all of the product, no further product. Wait, any product that was produced before this law went into effect is still allowed to be shipped. So we'll probably have around 2 years in Canada anyway of trans fat still being available in foods. After that, it'll not be in foods at all. Now, there's a lot of people that are like criticism, like, glass half full, some action's better than no action. And I understand that this action is maybe a little bit late when we have been being warned about things like trans fats for years. But at the same time, damn it, it's still good. Don't undermine it because it's like, oh, they're still going to be around for 2 years. Holy shit, guys, calm the hell down. Like, you have people in high positions criticizing a good move because it isn't as aggressive as they wanted it. Like, I don't think they have a comprehension of how truly is infeasible a word. Like it's not feasible to just be like, they're banned, get everything off of shelves, throw it away. No, all of it's gone. Don't make it anymore. Fuck that shit. Get the hell out of here. That's not how that works. That's not how the world works. It doesn't function that way. It's the same people that are just being like, assault weapons, all of them banned tomorrow. I want them all melted down and turned into train tracks. It's like, well, while I understand where you're coming from, I also do not like, hordes of people being mowed down. That is also extremely unfeasible and is not how that will happen, and is not, you're not approaching this in a sensible state. Like, I understand you are upset. Or you care very passionately about this, but it's not feasible within the means that we have without completely disrupting the entirety of society to a extremely dangerous level. But congratulations, Canada, on a major step forward in banning trans fats, and Canada as a whole will be healthier because of it. Gonna switch over the stuff and then take a drink. Yeah.
4.
It's good coffee. Ajit Pai calls California's net neutrality rules illegal. This was submitted by iWifia or iWifia. I don't know. iWiFi A to Our Technology. This is I'm kind of loving this because I'm really interested to see what happens here. Anyway, so California recently is working on finishing and passing. Literally, all they have to do now is for the governor of California to sign it, which would reinstate and reinforce and also put some additional stricter lines of the previous Title II internet regulations from the FCC directly into the state of California. Net neutrality, Title II, whatever you want to refer to it as, the open internet, whatever. That is what they're working on passing in California and are expected to pass in California. Now, what Pai has said in terms of his statement, he has said that the broader problem is that California's micromanagement poses a risk to the rest of the country. After all, broadband is an interstate service. Internet traffic doesn't recognize state lines. It follows that only the federal government can set regulatory policy in this area. For if individual states like California regulate the internet, this will directly impact citizens in other states. Among other reasons, this is why efforts like California's are illegal. In fact, just last week, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Eighth Circuit reaffirmed the well-established law that state regulation of information services is preempted by federal law. Last December, the FCC made clear that broadband is just such an information service. Well, California said, get fucked. Quite literally, one of the people that penned the bill said that California's net neutrality rules are necessary and legal because Chairman Pai abdicated his responsibility to ensure an open internet. Unlike Pai's FCC, California isn't run by the big telecom and cable companies. Pai can take whatever pot shots at California he wants. The reality is that California is the world's innovation capital, and unlike the crony capitalism promoted by the Trump administration, California understands exactly what it takes to foster an open innovation economy with a level playing field. You know, California is in a position that is intriguing to me. They're the third largest economy in the world. The world, not the United States, the world, solely the state of California. It is interesting because I know California has talked before of like, we'll secede from the United States. And of the states that have ever talked about that, California is one of the states that legitimately could and still survive. Because, like, Alaska has talked about it. And it's like, what are we going to do? We're already broke. Nobody makes oil here anymore. Like, we would die. We just immediately just become someone else. But California is so large, has so many people, has so many companies, has so much money, has so much power, that it is immensely intriguing to me. They're moving forward with this net neutrality rule regardless of the fact that the federal government of the United States has said it's illegal and you can't do it. And they straight up said, get fucked. What do you do? Because, like, sure, you can try to punish California. What are you going to do, though? Like, they're already on fire and have no water, but they have all of the money, like, which I mean is a strange coincidence, I suppose. But I don't like, what do you hope to do against California outside of just like shaking your finger at them? Like, California is getting to a point where it is challenging. And not just challenging of like when all the governors are like, we don't like what Ajit Pai did. California's like, no, fuck it. We don't care if we don't like it. We're going to do what we want. Chadwick in the chat room says, California is also passing a Ministry of Truth law to identify fake news and tell you about it. Nanny state. I guess, maybe. I don't know. He also says the tax law is really, really going to hurt them. Are you talking about the tax reform from the Trump administration? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't feel like a good portion of the Trump administration understands what their own tax law is. So, and I mean, I'm not the person to ask anyway. I tried to understand it, and besides the people on one side or the other going, it's great for this reason, it's shitty as fuck for this reason, it makes us money for this reason, it gives these people tax breaks. Like, I'm just like, do any of you actually know what's happening? Because I'm not sure I do. Hey, no, I don't know either. I'm not good at these things. Yeah, so I don't know. But it is interesting to me all the same that California, it just straight up just threw the FCC the bird and is going to do what they want anyway.
3.
North and South Korea leaders reportedly preparing to declare end of Korean War. This was submitted by Politics beep booper to our news. So, they have already signed a thing. Now, they have not declared peace or declared an end to the Korean War. What they have done instead is they have signed a document declaring that they are entering the era of peace for the Korean Peninsula. It's a step. It's progress. I mean, because realistically, while I do not like Kim Jong-un, I do not like the Kim family's regime, I do not like the state of North Korea, progress on a level for humanity is something I am still interested in. Lots of people are trying to break down what it is that Kim Jong-un is trying to achieve with these movements. Well, we know from, well, we don't know for certain, but predictions from people who know more about their subjects of matter than I have said that North Korea is in a state of they fucking broke and have no food. And they're struggling because of that. And the Kim family is not interested in losing their status, their stature, their position. Now, while they're open to the idea of opening the borders, ending the war, allowing trade through their country and with their country, they are trying to approach a state where that can be achieved without them losing their position. Because it was talked about even 2 years ago why North Korea had not given an inch. Because if Kim Jong-un was to say, cool, let's put down the walls, it is believed that he'd be immediately tried for crimes against humanity, and his family would be removed from power, and North Korea would just be taken over by either South Korea, or America, which, I mean, I believe South Korea's government is based very heavily off of America's government, so it's America either way, however you want to equate that. So North Korea is trying to take steps to still be North Korea and have the Kim family still be on top, while not having their feet being slowly eaten by themselves. And so if they can achieve that, where there can be a ground trade route from South Korea up into areas like China, it's good for South Korea. It's good for North Korea. It gets the people of North Korea levels of freedom and some food and access to the world that they don't currently have. And while I would not want Kim Jong-un to still be sitting in that position, I care more about the population of North Korea than I do about where Kim Jong-un is. If he is willing, despite the atrocities that he's committed, to commit himself to modernizing his country and not bastardizing his population, I am willing to find that compromise acceptable, because we won't find it otherwise. And the answers moving forward without this direction were becoming much more grim, gruesome, and dire. It's not fun or something you ever want to do, which is, on one level or another, be negotiating with a horrible dictator of a person. But if the ends justify the means, and normally that statement is, I'm going to do bad things to make something good happen, which normally involves something bad happening somewhere, some way. But if it just means that we're not going to lynch him, I feel like that is an acceptable means to reach an end. Because there are how many million or billion of people? I don't think they're a billion, but they got, like, what was the population of North Korea? Population. This is the part of the show where Michael Googles it. North Korea. Of course, I don't know if we'd have it. 25 million people estimated as of 2016. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that deserve to have a normal life, that deserve to have a life anywhere near what the rest of us are getting to live. If it means not butchering one person so that 25 million people can get relatively normal lives, fine. I got nothing else on that. Anyway.
2.
Canada considering proposal to void patents of major United States pharmaceutical companies in midst of trade disputes. This was submitted by Queen of Drog to Our World News. There's not a lot to say beyond that headline besides what it would mean. Canada is working on passing legislation to not recognize several patents from the United States for different pharmaceuticals. And what that would mean is that Canadian generic pharmaceutical firms would have the right to copy, sell, and export drugs that were made and patented in America, which would mean that those drugs are extremely cheap. Because currently, I don't have any examples of what substances, or do you call it a substance if it's medication? What medicines? What? I don't know. Anyway, this article doesn't provide examples of what would be on that, but we'll just say epinephrine, EpiPens. We'll say epinephrine is an American medicine that is patented in America and is only sold through American companies because of that. And we're going to ignore the recent stuff that happened with epinephrine, but we'll say it's still, $300 per pen. Canada, which has universal health care, single payer system. You just go to the doctor when you need to go to the doctor. And it's not you don't get charged $600 for a can of Icy Hot. Has to get that epinephrine from somewhere. Their option is to get it from America. They still have to pay that $300. If they choose on a legal level to not acknowledge or recognize the American patent, their companies can make epinephrine, which it's estimated that a pen of epinephrine actually costs like $1.80 or something to make, and that's the plastic and the medicine, the needle and everything, the whole assembly. Even like the cost of the power for the factory to put it together is like $1.80 per pen that they charge $300 for. If they choose not to recognize the patent, then they can make that pen for $1.80, and knowing Canada, it would be sold for like $5, maybe. And so what that means, that's great news. I mean, as much as it's like, how dare you double-cross America? God, damn patriotism. I don't care if it means that people get medicine. I really don't care. I think that the American healthcare system is fucked and is one of the most predatory systems right next to our educational system. And if it means that, again, much like our last topic involving North Korea, I don't give a shit if you're sticking a finger to America if it means that people that need access to these medicines would have them that would not otherwise. Because, fuck, god damn it, be decent human beings to one another. But, unfortunately, too often, that's a little bit too much to ask for. Rolling right along. Hopefully I'm not boring.
1.
The 8th Amendment, which effectively banned abortion in the Republic of Ireland, has been formally repealed. This was submitted by Alphonse. Nathan, your fucking cat can submit things to the show, but you can't be here, you son of a bitch. Anyway, submitted by Alphonse to Our News. So the 8th Amendment had granted equal right to life to both the mother and to an unborn child, which effectively completely banned abortion in the entire Republic of Ireland. Republic? Yeah, Republic of Ireland. Well, the Irish president, Michael D. Higgins, signed the abortion referendum bill into law on Tuesday, which just removes it. This was done by a countrywide vote. The country voted overwhelmingly, landslide victory, 66.4% to 33.6%, 2-1 on repealing the 8th Amendment. Hey guys, look, we can change. Ireland can change the amendment. Guess what? Because it's a fucking amendment. It's a change. It was an edit. You can edit and edit. America, looking at you. Anyway, and so with that though, abortions are now legal in the country of Ireland. Although the termination has to be done within 12 weeks of pregnancy. So after that, it no longer is accessible anymore, but it does give that option to people that are looking for it. Northern Ireland is going to be continuing to be the only part of the British Isles that will have basically a blanket ban on termination, but this does make it easier for people that need them for one reason or another to go where they need to go to get it taken care of. And that's all I'm going to say on this because abortion's still a really touchy subject. Nathan's not here, so I'm going to skip his shit Even though I just guessed Tommy Wiseau. Wiseau? I don't know how the fuck his last name is pronounced. We've talked about the cult classic The Room before, and Tommy Wiseau released the entirety of the movie on YouTube on his YouTube channel. So if you would like to watch that cult classic that is quite terrible, you can do so by going to YouTube now. What are the things that I cared about? Things that I cared about. So, two things. One, a team of thieves stole $18,000 worth of tracking devices from a warehouse. They were apprehended within hours. I can't imagine why. So this actually happened last year, and it happened in Silicon Valley in California. They stole $17,000 of Roam B tracking devices. And, well, turns out that they literally had to go, where are all our tracking devices at? Found them. Damn. The other thing I cared about is that Space Jam 2, bitches! Weep, 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 weep. Wait, I got it. Yeah, Space Jam. Space Jam 2 is coming. I'm excited. I'm excited for Space Jam 2. Space Jam 2, yeah, we are not going to have Michael Jordan. We are instead, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Where did I grow up? That's right, Oklahoma. I grew up in Oklahoma, and when I grew up in Oklahoma, I watched Space Jam. And in any case, so Space Jam 2 is in production. It is going to star our latest basketball star, and that is LeBron James. LeBron James is going to be in Space Jam 2, featured right alongside that level Bugs Bunny. I'm excited. Who's directing it? Ryan Coogler. Who's Ryan Coogler? The dude who directed Black Panther, which was an incredibly amazing movie that made a shitload of money, and he did a fantastic job. And I am so excited that this movie is coming back. The only thing that I hope is that of all the things that need to come back for Space Jam 2, in fact, probably like the only thing that needs to come back for Space Jam 2. Besides, like, I mean, if you want to throw in cameos of Bill Murray is still alive, right? He didn't die yet, right? He's still living. He's still kicking. Yeah, okay, he's still alive. Besides, like, maybe like a cameo from like Michael Jordan, Bill Murray, any of the anyway, the thing that I need to have come back on one level or another, I need to have the song back. That's what I need. I need that song to be in that movie. I don't care where. I don't care if it's only in the trailer. I just need that song. Because the song, we all know the song. We all know the song. I'm not going to sing it because my singing is atrocious. But we all know the song. We all know the Space Jam song. Because it is one of the most iconic songs ever. And I mean, not ever.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam.
I'm totally gonna get hit by YouTube. Don't give a shit.
Space Jam. All right.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
Okay, seriously, that song, Quad City DJ. You don't even need to remake it. Just take that same track you had last time and just fucking drop it on our faces, please. We need it. That literally has to be in there. If not, I'm gonna label your movie a failure unless you have an equally iconic song that is even better than that one. But I don't think you can, because everyone can rock out to Space Jam. If anyone ever watched Space Jam, let's face it, we all watch Space Jam. The movie is incredible and amazing, even though there's so many things that make it a bad movie. We still love it. Bring me Space Jam 2. The other thing on Space Jam 2 is that Kevin Hart, he is in Space Jam 2 until someone tells him otherwise. Like, he's like, oh, I'm in that movie. Are you? Yeah, no one said I'm not. So, yeah, I am quite excited about that and am looking forward to it. And that's it. I guess Nathan is still sleeping, unless he poked me. Did he poke me? No, he didn't poke me. I don't know where he is, but hopefully he'll be back. I am being told that was adorable. Thanks, I think. Are we talking about me or are we talking about Kevin Hart? I don't know. Either way. All right. That's it, everybody. No, that's all of it. That's your show. We'll be back next Sunday. Remember, we do go live at 9 a.m. now on Sunday mornings. Nathan's was here last week. I don't know where he is this week, but he was here last week. And hopefully he... Wait. What happened here? Oh, no. What happened? Why did my recording stop? How old is that? I don't know when my... Okay. Everything's still streaming. But for the audio-only side, it stopped a while ago. I don't know. How long has the stream been going on? Do I got a time anywhere besides that? Well, if you're listening to the audio-only side of things, I apologize if you're missing any audio right now. You definitely might be, because I don't know why it stopped, but it did stop at around like 43 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, cool. Yeah. So Nathan is working now. He got a promotion in his job, changed positions, but that also meant a shift change. So he works from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. now. Fucking shoot me. And so that is why we are no longer able to do the show on our regular Monday through Thursday schedule. Instead, we will be doing one show on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Alaska time if you would like to catch it live. Otherwise, you can find it in so many other places. The videos are always available on Facebook and YouTube. Audio-only versions are available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And probably anywhere else you find podcasts, because most of the podcatcher apps just feed through like iTunes or something like that to get all their shows. Beyond that, though, I would ask for your assistance. I would ask you for your help now that you have listened to this entire show. If you would please consider supporting us. If you want to do it sheerly by throwing money at us, if you want to throw money at us, patreon.com/dailyinternet. We appreciate it immensely. That has allowed us to get Nathan a new microphone, Nathan a new computer, me a new computer, where everything sounds so good and we don't have like my computer crapping out on us. The connection doesn't crap out on us, although that's not something we can control, but it does allow us to pay for better internet. Stuff like that. It helps us immensely. So please consider going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. If you're like, you know what about me? I want something. We do have merchandise available for you. No matter where you're listening or watching this, in the description below is a link to our merchandise store. We have shirts for you, baby. Shirts. We got our logo. We have the I Didn't Vote For You shirt. Wait for it.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
There you go. I Didn't Vote For You shirt. We got the Puns Are Us shirt, because
It's a pun.
absolutely. We also have the Sucks to Suck shirt, which is a very popular phrase that me and Nathan use. So if you're interested in any of those, please go get them, find them, and enjoy them. Otherwise, there's so many other ways you can help us that if you don't want to keep listening, I don't blame you, and I'm just going to keep on rolling right through it. Follow and share the show, because that's a fun tongue twister. Share the show. Follow and share the show on social media. Got to keep it going, all with that alliteration of those S's, by going to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Reddit. All of those, we are at iRedditCast, whether the user account, the group page, the subreddit, it's all there at iRedditCast. If you want to follow us and share us, that helps other people find the show, and that helps us immensely as well. 5-star reviews on those audio-only platforms, such as iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. That helps other people find the show as well. So thank you so much to those of you that try to assist us in any way you can. We appreciate it, because damn is this fucking hard at times. I don't mean like doing it is hard, but like trying to figure out how to grow is hard. Like, it's hard. So thank you for Rachel says we need to get a shirt that says this is the part of the show where Michael Googles it. I got you. We also actually have a long list of, if I can get to it real quick, we actually have a long list of shirts that I have to design at some point in time. But I mean, that would require me to do it, and damn, I don't like doing graphics design, but I'm also not going to pay someone to do graphics design because we don't make that much money. Where is it? Merchandise. So some of the other phrases for merchandise that we have. If you are a longtime listener of the show, Nathan allegedly used to partake in the devil's lettuce until he got his new job, which it doesn't allow him to do so anymore. But we would frequently use the phrase allegedly. Like, Nathan, you high? I mean, allegedly. So that's a very old throwback. Of course, the
7.
Nope, not that one.
It's a pun.
We also have the...
You make me sad.
We considered making that into a shirt. If we wanted a little bit more friendly one, we are going to do 100% more snugs. Get wrecked, nerd. Me and Nathan, I say it now because of Nathan, sick! which would be a very inside joke, because if you just have like this splattered word on your shirt that says sick, people probably wouldn't understand it. A shirt for all of us out there struggling that says, please just let me die. Another one that says, you deserve this. One of my favorite phrases, it makes sense if you just don't think about it. If you have watched Hellsing Abridged, another one of my favorite phrases is, it's all just a matter of perspective, really. Another one of, I did my job, and its sister shirt of not my job. One shirt that I liked the idea of a lot was, I don't like living through history. It's not fun, with some rather graphic imagery on it. Another one that simply says, you're just wrong. But I will go ahead and add, this is the part of the show where Michael, I'm going to put where we Google it so that it's a little bit more general. I'll add that to the list as well. But yes, we have the logo, the Sucks to Suck shirt, the Well I Didn't Vote For You, and Puns Are Us, which is in the style of a once beloved toy store that most of us could not afford to shop in. Yeah. Otherwise, if you have anything that you want us to talk about, whether it's a news story, if you want our opinion on something, a theory you have, it doesn't even have to be recent. If it's a news story about when they discovered something in 2005, send it to us on any of those platforms I already rattled off. I will not trouble you by rattling them off again. But if you are wanting to know what I'm doing, I am on social media at Schwan Michael. That is both Twitter as well as Instagram and the Facebooks. At least I think it's Schwan Michael on Facebook. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not hard to find. Anywho, I do have projects that I am working on now that I have all this free time throughout the week. I have a green screen sitting right next to me that I'm going to finish getting set up and tweaked to work with our streaming software, and that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it. That's it, everybody. That is your 517th dose of the internet. These are larger doses, but you only get one dose a week now. So hopefully, you know, you're not slapping the arm too much. Bad heroin joke. Anyway, 517th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan. Nathan is probably still asleep. And please remember, everybody.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Goodbye.